Before you accept another decline on your loan request, before you let another hidden charge eat away at your hard-earned money, before you lose another hour standing in a line that shouldn't exist in the digital age, listen closely. The financial system you've been forced to depend on is broken by design, but a new alternative is already here. Imagine a world where your money moves instantly, where your financial identity is built by participation, not exclusion, where every transaction is secure, transparent, and costs a fraction of what banks demand today. That world is called Pi Network, and millions of pioneers are building it together right now. So, pioneer, let me ask you, are you ready to stop being just another account number in someone else's system and start becoming a true owner in the future of finance? What's the single most unfair banking experience you faced, and how do you believe Pi Network could change it for good? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your voice is the pulse of this revolution, and it just might inspire our next deep dive. Let's first greet and welcome pioneers from every corner of the globe. Today, I'm revealing why the banking system you've been forced to accept is already becoming obsolete, and why Pi Network isn't just an alternative, but represents a completely new financial paradigm that's redefining what it means to have control over your money. Before we dive into this game-changing revelation, I want to see our incredible global Pi family in action. But first, join our community by click subscribe button and ring notification bell if you haven't already, so you never miss an update. Also, comment PI Network to the moon, along with your country name, to show the world just how massive and united our pioneer movement really is across every continent. While preparing this information, as you can see, I relied on this blog post from a trusted news source, which states that as the global financial landscape undergoes rapid transformation, the gap between traditional banking systems and emerging decentralized platforms like Pi Network has never been more evident. While banks still depend on outdated infrastructure, paperwork, and costly intermediaries, Pi Network is reshaping access to financial tools, providing speed, simplicity, and inclusivity through blockchain technology. Let me paint a picture that probably sounds familiar to most of you watching this. Maria from the Philippines needs to send money to her daughter studying in Canada. She walks into her local bank branch, fills out extensive documentation requiring proof of income, employment verification, and transaction justification. After waiting 45 minutes in line, she's told the transfer will cost $35 in fees plus a currency conversion charge. The bank employee explains her money won't arrive for 3 to 5 business days because it needs to pass through correspondent banks, each taking their cut along the way. Meanwhile, David in rural Kenya doesn't even have access to this flawed system. The nearest bank branch is 50 kilometers away, requires documents he doesn't possess, and demands a minimum balance that represents 2 months of his income. He's completely excluded from participating in the global financial system, despite having the skills and drive to build a successful online business. This isn't just inconvenience, this is systematic exclusion. Traditional banks have spent decades building walls instead of bridges, creating barriers instead of opportunities. They've constructed a system that serves their profit margins rather than people's needs. The banking infrastructure relies on legacy systems built when computers filled entire rooms, when international communication took days, and when the internet didn't exist. Here's what's really happening behind those marble bank facades. Every time you make a transaction, multiple intermediaries get involved. Your money doesn't go directly from you to the recipient. Instead, it travels through a complex network of correspondent banks, clearinghouses, and regulatory checkpoints. Each step adds time, cost, and potential failure points. The banks profit from holding your money during these delays, earning interest while you wait. Now let me show you what's happening in the Pi Network ecosystem while Maria waits for her bank transfer to process. Sarah, a Pi pioneer in Australia, decides to support a small business owner in Brazil. She opens her Pi app, enters the recipient's Pi address, confirms the transaction, and within seconds, the Pi has moved. No paperwork, no verification delays, no correspondent banks, no fees. The Brazilian business owner immediately has access to the Pi and can use it to purchase supplies from another Pi merchant in their local community. This isn't theoretical future technology. This is happening right now, every single day across the Pi network. The fundamental difference isn't just technical, it's philosophical. While banks ask, how can we extract maximum value from each transaction? Pi Network asks, how can we create maximum value for each user? Pi Network operates on principles that directly oppose traditional banking limitations. Where banks require extensive documentation, Pi requires only a smartphone and internet connection. Where banks impose geographical restrictions, Pi operates borderlessly. Where banks charge fees for basic services, Pi enables fee-free peer-to-peer exchanges. Where banks exclude based on credit history or documentation, Pi welcomes anyone ready to participate in a digital economy. The daily mining process isn't just about earning Pi cryptocurrency. It's about participating in a consensus mechanism that validates transactions, secures the network, and builds a financial system that prioritizes accessibility over profit margins. Every time you press that lightning button, you're contributing to a global infrastructure that's replacing the need for traditional banking intermediaries. The speed difference between banking and Pi Network represents more than convenience, it's an economic catalyst. When transactions happen instantly, small businesses can manage cash flow more effectively. Freelancers can receive payments immediately rather than waiting days for checks to clear. Families can send emergency support without wondering if it will arrive in time. Consider the ripple effects of instant transactions. A farmer in rural Indonesia can sell produce to buyers worldwide and receive payment immediately, allowing them to purchase seeds for the next planting season without delay. A freelance graphic designer in Ukraine can complete work for a client in Canada and receive payment instantly, enabling them to pay their own suppliers without cash flow interruptions. Traditional banking speed limitations aren't just inconvenient, they're economically destructive. When money sits in processing for days, economic activity slows down. Businesses struggle with cash flow. Individuals delay purchases. The entire economy operates at the speed of the slowest financial institution. Pi Network's near-instant transaction capability enables economic activity to flow at the speed of human decision-making rather than the speed of bureaucratic processing. This acceleration doesn't just benefit individual users, it creates more dynamic, responsive economic ecosystems wherever Pi adoption grows. The accessibility revolution Pi Network represents goes far beyond technical convenience. Traditional banking has systematically excluded populations that don't fit neat institutional categories. People without formal employment struggle to open accounts. Individuals in remote areas can't access physical branches. Those without extensive documentation are denied basic financial services. Pi Network's inclusive onboarding process welcomes users regardless of location, background, employment status, or documentation availability. This isn't charity, it's recognition that financial participation should be a fundamental right, rather than an institutional privilege. When barriers to financial participation disappear, human potential flourishes. The economic impact of this inclusion extends beyond individual users. When previously excluded populations gain access to financial tools, they contribute to economic growth, innovation, and stability. They become customers, suppliers, and partners in global commerce rather than being relegated to cash-only local economies. Banking fees represent more than just cost. They represent a fundamental misalignment of incentives. Banks profit most when they can extract maximum fees from users who have no alternatives. This creates a system where the institution's interests directly conflict with users' interests. Pi Network's fee-free model eliminates this conflict entirely. When there are no transaction fees, users can engage in microtransactions, frequent exchanges, and experimental economic activities without worrying about costs eroding value. This enables entirely new economic behaviors and business models. small transactions that would be economically unfeasible through traditional banking become viable in Pi Network. Imagine tipping content creators a few cents, purchasing digital goods for minimal amounts, or participating in prediction markets with small stakes. These activities create economic vitality and innovation that fee-based systems inherently discourage. Perhaps the most fundamental difference between banking and Pi Network lies in governance and development philosophy. Banks operate as top-down hierarchical institutions where decisions are made by executives focused on shareholder returns. Users have no voice in how services develop or what features get prioritized. Pi Network operates as a community-driven ecosystem where millions of pioneers contribute to development, security, and growth. This grassroots approach ensures the platform evolves to serve user needs rather than institutional profit requirements. For merchants and businesses who have been waiting to accept Pi as payment, you're now looking at millions of potential customers who can easily acquire spendable Pi without jumping through complicated hoops. And for investors and analysts who have been watching Pi Network from the sidelines, there's now a clearer path to price discovery and understanding of real market dynamics that wasn't possible during the closed mainnet phase. Here's where things get really exciting, and this is something I want every single viewer to understand clearly. In parallel with this groundbreaking Fiat integration, Pi Network is rumored to be preparing the launch of PiPay version 2, which represents a next-generation payment system designed specifically for real-time blockchain transactions. While the complete details remain under wraps, community sources and insider information suggest that PiPay version 2 will support comprehensive merchant tools for accepting Pi payments, seamless peer-to-peer payment capabilities, and full integration with decentralized applications that are being built on the Pi Network platform. Imagine walking into your local coffee shop and paying with Pi that you bought with Apple Pay just minutes earlier. Picture sending money to your family in another country instantly and cheaply using Pi. Think about shopping online and choosing Pi as your payment method just like you would choose PayPal or your credit card. This vision of a mobile-first blockchain platform with genuine real-world utility is no longer a distant dream. It's becoming reality right before our eyes. To participate in these revolutionary new features, users must complete the mainnet migration process, which includes thorough KYC verification, wallet creation, token lockup configuration, and signing the Pi token acknowledgement form. The migration process has been significantly streamlined through recent application updates that also introduced improved navigation, faster wallet access, and enhanced security protocols that make the entire experience smooth and user-friendly. Now here's something that should get every international pioneer excited. While the current rollout specifically targets United States users, Pi Network has clearly signaled their plans to expand Fiat access to other regions around the world. Transfi, one of their key integrated partners, already supports over 85 markets and 250 different payment methods globally. This opens incredible doors for users in Asia, Europe, Latin America, Africa, and everywhere else to join the Pi economy through their preferred local payment solutions. The expansion roadmap includes additional fiat currencies, localized payment applications like Gcash in the Philippines, and competitive exchange rates designed specifically for global users. This ambitious expansion directly supports Pi Network's original vision of creating a truly decentralized financial system powered by community participation from every corner of the planet. This launch of fiat purchases within the Pi wallet represents far more than a technical milestone. It marks a defining transformation moment for the entire Pi Network ecosystem. We're witnessing the evolution from a closed, experimental blockchain into a liquid, accessible, and infinitely scalable financial ecosystem that can compete with traditional banking and payment systems. For pioneers who have mined Pi with unwavering belief and incredible patience through years of development and testing, the waiting period is officially over. Your faith in the vision has been validated, and your early participation is about to be rewarded in ways that seemed impossible when you first started tapping that mining button. For developers and merchants who have been building and preparing for this moment, the market is finally opening with real customers who have real money to spend. For the broader cryptocurrency industry, Pi Network is providing definitive proof that genuine utility, mass accessibility, and true decentralization can not only coexist, but thrive together. As the entire world watches this historic development unfold, Pi Network is no longer just a theoretical concept or experimental project. It's a fully functioning Web3 economy with real users, real transactions, and real value creation. For millions of users across the globe, this isn't the end of a long journey. It's the exciting beginning of something much bigger than any of us initially imagined. If this groundbreaking news has you as excited as it has me, I need you to smash that like button right now and let the algorithm know that Pi Network content matters to thousands of pioneers worldwide. Don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell because Pi Network is moving at lightning speed, and major announcements like this are happening more frequently than ever before. You absolutely don't want to miss the next big development that could change everything again. The mobile-first design ensures this Web3 financial infrastructure remains accessible to global populations rather than being limited to technical specialists. As Web3 adoption accelerates, Pi Network's established community and proven accessibility position it to become fundamental infrastructure for decentralized applications, peer-to-peer marketplaces, and digital identity systems. The contrast between traditional banking's legacy limitations and Pi Network's revolutionary approach isn't just technological, it's generational. We're witnessing the emergence of financial infrastructure built for the connected world rather than adapted from pre-digital systems. The question facing every person watching this isn't whether this transformation will happen, but whether they'll participate in building this new financial reality or remain dependent on increasingly obsolete traditional systems. Pi Network offers more than an alternative to banking. It offers participation in creating the financial infrastructure of the future. If this video opened your eyes to possibilities you hadn't considered, smash that like button to help others discover these financial freedom opportunities. Subscribe and activate notifications because we're tracking every development in this financial revolution and you don't want to miss what's coming next.